And welcome everyone to Gate to Wire. I'm Bruce Casella along with Dani Gibson, and we have our special guest, jockey Mychel Sanchez. Welcome, Mychel.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we got to give Mychel a proper introduction. So he's one of my favorite jockeys. He's our leading jockey here at Parx and multiple graded stakes winner and ranked fifth right now nationally in the country with wins. So what a year you're having, Mychel. I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I get another win today, and that makes it 200 for the year, and keep pushing.
I saw that you had a pretty, so when we filmed this, you're at 199 wins for
Yeah,
2025. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. I try to set goals higher. So even if you don't reach a goal, it's still a big year. So I think it's a huge year, and we still got some few months left. So
Look, I remember when you came here. Just tell our fans, maybe people forget, how did you even get into being a jockey? Because that's not your everyday job.
yeah, you know what? I was raised with horses. My family, my uncles, my dad, my brother. So I was basically born to be a jockey. I love horses, and I fell in love with them early. And I'm glad that I started early, and it makes a big difference.
Did you play any sports when you were younger?
A little bit of baseball. I love it too, but I was a little too small, always too small, and then I was always like playing a little bit, pick up games, and but always follow the races, always like every day. And then once I got a little older enough to go to the track, I started to go, and here we are.
Really making a name for yourself. Is there a time where you felt like, wow, I'm really making it? Like a race or, a turning point in your career where you felt like you turned that?
Yeah, there's always time that everything comes back to you like flashlight and stuff like that. Like say for like at the end of the year, when you see all your accomplishment, what you did in a year, and then you kind of look back to how when everything started, 10 years ago, stuff like that. And it's like, man, like, you appreciate everything you done. Like, wow, like how much I have accomplished, and I feel like I'm just getting started. So
You are?
Do you have a certain riding style, Mychel?
no, no, not really. I think I just let the horses do their own thing. I try to not get in their way, the same way that they don't get in my way. The big connection between the rider and horses, and it plays out really well. I try to connect with them right away, and it's being an awesome ride.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's made you so successful. You are really adaptable and you're really, really strong on the front end and you're really good coming off the pace too. What goes through your mind before a race? Like, how do you clear your mind if you didn't have a good race before? Like, mentally before the race leads up and you go in that starting gate, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, that's a good question because when you ride and you as a competitor, you go out there and say you lose, you have to like move forward so fast because now you got the next race. And I feel like once you go to the room, you change yourself, something like that, you're still like, angry or mad or something like you the race or something went wrong and stuff like that. But once you wait for the next race and you go down, it's almost like it passed. You gotta let it be behind you and not let it bother you. And then once you get to the gate, everything is just closed. It's just only you and the horse.
Let me ask you about your business. I mean, how do you get your mounts? For those that don't know, talk about your agent a little bit and how you get your mounts and how do you forward your business day to day.
Yeah, we do have a agent that he worked with us, and basically he knows like we do too, like all the owners and trainers, and he stays in contact with them like pretty much 24/7. What horses we're gonna ride, where we're gonna be, horses to work in the morning and stuff like that. And through the days and days, the better that you do, the better and more opportunity you get, and it's not an easy job, being an agent too, because I mean they're on their phone 24/7 and stuff like that. So you gotta, try to work together. And as many people say, like we're like the jockey is the boss because we pay them. I don't see it like that because it's a team.
Yeah, I mean, you've been with Scotty Silver for a couple of years before you were at Joe Hampshire, and I know they both really helped with molding you. And Scotty's opened some cool doors for you. Now we see you riding for Grand Motion, Mark Cassie, Michael Stidham, Trombetta. names that we see on the big stage.
Yeah,
What's it like when you're in the paddock before a big race and they're giving you instructions? Like, what's that relationship like?
it's awesome. It's awesome, because you go out there and most of the time they don't give you like a lot of instructions. So it's pretty cool how they trust you. They trust your judgment, that you're gonna go out there and try your best, try to do the best for the horse, putting in a good spot, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool how they believe in you, stuff like that. And then, you see that um through your work, it kind
Yeah,
of it kind of brings it back, like how much work you've done and prepare for races, stuff like that.
yeah, they're hiring you to do a job and they're trusting that you're going to do your homework before your race. Do you do a lot of studying of the race form? I know you do, but I want to hear more.
Yeah, yeah. You go through the program, you go through your horse first, and then you kind of wanna you cannot ride like every horse. You only have if I can say that, like through like how I don't know how to explain that, like.
You can't predict what the other horses are
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I know what
But
you mean.
but you at the same time you gotta get a little bit of knowledge of who you're riding with, what kind of jockeys are on the race and horses, what kind of horse you can follow and not follow, when to move and not move. There's so much that happens so quick. Like even I feel like even the camera they don't even get that, like the power of the horse and the connection with the rider, like the change of the when they breathe, and the lead change and all of that, everything can change so fast that it's a big role of the racing.
Michael, what about your future? I mean, guys like Kendrick Carmouche, he's moved on to New York and he's one of our Hall of Famers here at Parx. But you've done so much great stuff at Parx. I mean, are you going to make that next step up to the New York circuit?
Yeah, it's always been in the talk to go to New York, and hopefully that happens pretty soon. I've been on talk with my agent Scott, and I think it's gonna happen this winter that we're gonna go. But I still appreciate being here. I love it here. I'm doing awesome, and and I get to travel all the track too because we run different days and then, so it's a big help. And if it doesn't happen, and you still gotta be really glad. I'm awesome where I'm at. I love it here. I got my house here, my family, and all that. So it's a little bit back and forth, but you can never say never.
Well, I want to talk about that. Let's talk about your family here at the track. And of course, we all love you and we feel like family, but you have your real family here and they have jobs here. What do they do?
Yeah, my brother, he's an exercise rider for Jamie Ness, and he's also my valet now in the jockey run. And my younger brother, he works for Mikey Moore. He gallops for him too, and he goes and help in the morning too, how work and everything. We love being here. We love horse racing, and we are team players too. Like we not only say for an example, if you're an exercise rider, we don't only go and do that. Like if they need help for a little something else, we will never say no because we love what we do and we believe in the teamwork.
Yeah, I know Mario gets on some really tough horses that Jamie Ness has tricky horses. And Jamie Ness has credited Mario for really being the foundation for you getting on in the afternoon. And Maglio, your younger brother, ponies too. So it's really cool to see that full circle, them all contributing in horse racing. And of course, Mario, former jockey, Maglio, aspiring jockey. So pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty good story. And
What
cool.
about jockeys that you look up to and mentor that you get advice from? Any jockeys that have really been influential in your career?
Well, when I first started, my dad helped me big time. He was a rider, and my uncles, Angel too, he was my other uncle. And when I was in Venezuela, I look up to riders there, and once I got a big knowledge of racing in USA, I expanded my vision and I started looking more here. And at that time, I used to look up a lot, Javier and Ramon Dominguez. And then once I got here, I look up big to Kendrick all the time.
Yeah.
When I was here, he was the leading jockey. And sometimes not just being a leading jockey and because he ride the best horse and stuff like that. You still gotta go out there and do every move that you got to do to win these races. Like anybody can go out there with the best horse and lose the race, stuff like that. So you look up and see what are doing to win all of those races. Like right now, like Irad and Pratt and Kendra's still doing an amazing job, and Luis Saez and all of them guys. And it's not like you're gonna ride like they ride, but you can get like little tips, what they're doing, how they're coming out of the gate, and
Yeah.
when they're moving, in the stretch, how they're doing all this little stuff, and you can pick up some stuff and learn every day, learn more.
That's one thing I've really noticed. I get to see you ride every day. To me, not only you are number one leading jockey here for wins, but to me, you've perfected being in the best position in race riding here at Parx. And I've seen you just finesse your craft. You know what I mean? So I see what you're saying. And you know what's cool is you're fifth behind wins, behind Paco, Flavian Prat, and the Ortiz brothers, and you're right there, number five. So that's something to be really proud of.
Yeah, I'm super proud. Like last year, I finished third, um, and like you don't really think about it until the year is done, and then when the year was finished and I look up the wins, I was like, wow, like what you accomplish is it's something big, and it kind of hits you.
Mychel, thank you for joining us on Gate to Wire and keep up the good work. We love you. We want you to stay safe, and we hope to see you a lot more here at Parx. Just keep it up, and we don't want you to go to New York, but if that's your goal and that's your dream, please do it because we
Oh,
love
he's
you.
always going to have ties here and maybe a big PA Derby win in the
Yeah, no,
future.
yeah. Well, no, thank you for having me anytime. And hey, I always got time for parks. I love it. I love here.
Take care, man.
See you, bud.